All right, Kim, take it away, girl.
Okay. Guys, if you're just jumping on the call, if you don't mind miking or muting yourselves, that'd be great. My name is Kim Richardson. If you guys don't know me, I'm 23. I live in Whitby, Ontario, which is about half an hour east of Toronto. I just want to take a moment to thank all of you for hopping on this call right now. It's my first time hosting, so I'm really excited, but also a little nervous. So if I stutter, please just be forgiving. Thank you guys so much for being on here. We have a great lineup tonight. I'm so excited to hear from these three beautiful ladies. So if you don't know what we're doing, we're a group of individuals with a common vision, and that is to ignite all young people to own their lives physically and financially, and through contributions create freedom and a lasting legacy. Who can get excited about that? Right? Lots of silent eye waves. Okay, so we are the Canada Start peeps that go from East Coast to West Coast, up north, and anyone who is a Global Start peep or not a starter, that's totally fine. Anyone who's an associate can partake in this. It's a business training. We get together so that we can provide tools and support and coaching so that everyone on this call will have a 10 out of 10 belief in themselves and the confidence to actually go and share this gift with everyone. So just a disclaimer, we are a health and wellness company. We do not make any claims to diagnose, prevent, treat, or cure any illness or disease. No two bodies are alike, so the results may vary depending on what your body can take. The body is total miracle, and amazing things can happen when we incorporate these superfoods in our body. You also might hear some financial claims tonight. Pretty much what it is what you put into it is what you're going to get out. So not one person is going to make the same as someone else. So guys, please tonight just show some love in the chat. Thank you for the people who are already showing love. And just keep asking those questions, and these talkers tonight are going to try to do that as much as possible, answer those questions for you, so don't be shy to do that. So with no further ado, I would like to introduce our first speaker. Her name is Charlotte. She's 18 and a high school student in Kitchener, Ontario. She has always been a leader and loves sharing her love for music and dance with the world. Although she grew up as a confident, independent dreamer, ready to make her mark on the world, she did, however, go through a rough patch in the middle of high school and felt stuck. She is so grateful to her mom, who I didn't know this, is a 2014 Isabody finalist, Sheila Renali, for bringing Isagenix into her life and reigniting her energy and passion, as well as giving her a huge sense of purpose and a way to offer her friends the solutions that they might be desperately looking for. So Charlotte, I would love to hear your story.
Thank you so much. Can we just give a hand to Kimberly and show some love in the chat? Because hosting is not easy. You're the first person trying to figure everything out, and yeah. Whoever's speaking, are you able to mute? There we go. Awesome. So thank you for the introduction. As Kim said, my name is Charlotte Kingston, and I am a high school student in Kitchener, Ontario. Before I share my story, something that I like to touch on that I think helps people relate a lot more to my story is to just have one question, and that is, would you guys all agree that as a society we consider it pretty normal to be tired and stressed? Yeah. And we don't really think anything of it because everyone around us is complaining about the same exhaustion, the same overwhelm. Everyone's dreading Monday. It was not too long ago that I was that person walking up to my friends in the hallway at school, letting out a big groan, like, oh my God, I can't believe it's only Wednesday. This week is going by so slow. And the more I start to think about that now, that is the saddest thing that we could say. Most of us are wishing away 5 incredible days just to live life on the weekend. And we're not even living life on the weekend because we're dreading the week that lies ahead. And that's how life goes. And that's not life. That's not truly living. So that was not far away from me. So my transformation was not really a physical one, but I had the most incredible inner transformation. I was fortunate enough that as a teenager, the weight hadn't caught up to me yet, but it was doing some other things that I didn't realize. So is it okay if I share that story with you guys? Awesome. So before I started Isagenix, I was tired, stressed, and unmotivated. I was in a constant cycle of bad habits. I was skipping breakfast, falling asleep all day in class, coming home and eating junk food all night, and then my mom was dragging me out of bed the next morning. And it just felt like I was stuck. I was dealing with the stress of approaching the end of high school with really no idea what I wanted to do with my life. And for our generation, that's a lot scarier, I think, now, because there's just always been so much pressure on, you know, you have to do something, you have to pick something, you have to go to school for something. What is it? And that question was being asked a lot in grade 11, and that was something that was really stressing me out. And I had also recently been in a traumatizing car accident that took a huge toll on my emotional health. And if anyone here has ever been through any sort of trauma, then you understand that that overwhelm that I was talking about at the beginning, it becomes so much heavier and just hard to control. You never know when it's going to come up, and it kind of gets in the way of a lot of things in your life. So my mom introduced me to Isagenix, and you know, if your 50-year-old mother does it, then it's not cool. So I said no for the longest time because it was her thing, you know, her and her friends, they were doing this. My friends were always telling me, you know, your mom looks so hot. Like, how is your mom, like, you know, she's 50, what? And I was just like, yeah, she does one of those things. Like, I didn't want to talk about it. But eventually I knew I didn't want to keep watching my life go by without really living it. So I finally agreed to put the products into my body because, you know, she knew I was struggling, and she knew that nutrition was probably playing a bigger role in that than I really wanted to admit, even with my trauma after the accident. So I put the products in my body, and I just couldn't believe how things changed. I was waking up full of energy. I wasn't craving all that junk food anymore, which I think is important because if you don't deal with the cravings, then it's not sustainable. And you know, I dealt with stress so well throughout grade 12, which was the most stressful year, and I claimed to cure or treat trauma. But that stress that was relieved allowed me to be in cars again and eventually get my license. And now I drive all the time, which was something that I didn't see for my near future or even really my future at all. So now I get to surround myself with all these amazing young people who are doing incredible things, living extraordinary lives, traveling the world, giving back, pursuing their individual passions, and helping others do the same, all while living in the healthiest bodies. And that fires me up. Like, I've made so many friends doing this that are the best people I could surround myself with. So now I'm on such a huge mission to not only show other students how to have energy and less stress in school on a budget, and maybe even get their groceries for free, because like, who wouldn't want that as a student, but to actually inspire them to use the vehicle of network marketing to support them financially in whatever it is they want to do in life, their own individual passion, to really dream bigger and, you know, find what they love and make something out of it using this as a vehicle. So that's my story.
Wow, Charlotte, thank you so much. Your vulnerability is just incredible, and that touches my heart. I'm sure it touches everyone on here that you can open up to us about that. I mean, guys, like, who else can totally relate to that? Coming out of high school, not knowing what you're going to do. I know I just finished my first degree, and now I have no idea where I'm going to go, and that's a very scary feeling to have. So I'm so thankful that you've been able to find Isagenix, and that has helped you find a little stability in your life, Charlotte. That's really great. Guys, didn't she do so great? Let's keep going in the chat. That's so great to see. So next up, I'm very excited to introduce this girl. I met her at a Super Saturday a couple months ago, and her name is Gagan, and she is a working nurse both in the provinces of Ontario and British Columbia. She initially is from British Columbia, but has moved to Ontario for school so that she can change her nursing diploma to a degree. She's so passionate about serving and helping others in the health and well-being of themselves. She was introduced to Isagenix by a coworker 8 months ago, and now she's realized that Isagenix is giving her the power to help more people than the nurse-to-patient ratio that is unfortunately in our system right now today in the hospital setting. So if you guys want to give some love to Gagan, she's going to do our personal growth section.
Oh, thank you so much. You're amazing. And right now I'm in British Columbia, by the way. I'm back home for the weekend. So a little bit about myself. I was a part of Isagenix starting February, and is it okay if I share my story actually to start off? Yeah? Okay. So before Isagenix, I was in an ATVing accident last year, which caused me to be away from work and from school. During that time, prior to the ATVing accident, I was working many, many night shifts that contributed to a lot of weight gain on top of that. So I gained about 20 pounds of unhealthy weight in 2015. And a coworker of mine was kind enough to reach out to me about Isagenix. And for me, no compromise, organic foods, anything of that sort in general without any chemicals was always something I would try to be sure of in whatever maybe that I was consuming. And so when my coworker introduced Isagenix to me, I hopped on board right away. But it wasn't just for the physical transformation. I knew that I was moving to Ontario. I knew I was going to be a full-time student again. So when she had explained the residual income portion of things, I was a bit skeptic. However, what I found is that with Isagenix, you're working with full integrity. You're helping people get healthy. Because my mindset was around business, it was that people would step on each other's toes, trying to fight each other to get to the top. But that's not the case with this company. And so as a result, I dropped 13 pounds in my first month, and I've stabilized that weight, and I've created new goals to gain a little bit more lean muscle, because now I feel confident that I can do so. And Isagenix has allowed me to do that. Now, I'm presently in my program. I'm living in Ontario, and I don't have time to work anymore. And this is exactly what I was expecting to happen. However, the Isagenix residual income is what's helped me support myself as a student now, because I can't commit hours. I can't commit to a 12-hour shift even once a week anymore. So aside from all of that, there are a few things that I wanted to share with you guys to help build some belief, especially for the new associates out there, or the people who are still new to start. So to start off, I wanted to share this one book. Now, I want you guys to write this down, called Go Giver by Bob Burg. B-U-R-G is his last name. And what this book has done for me, and I still come back to reading it over and over again, what it does is it teaches you that changing your focus from getting to giving and putting others' interests before yours continuously and just adding value to the lives of others is the most important aspect in life to be successful. So if you're working and focusing more so on me, good luck on how far you'll truly go. Because at the end of the day, we're all here to work as a team. We're all here to support each other. And so reading this book was kind of my eye-opener around Isagenix as well, because this is what I was always about. Not about just myself. I mean, I went into nursing initially to help people, but this book just spoke everything for me. So I want you guys to take a look. There's a PDF, I believe, online. I actually listened to the ebooks. So that's the first one I wanted to share. And secondly, events. So this year I went to my very first event, which was Isagenix University in Action in Vancouver back in May. And that was my breakthrough moment, because it wasn't just about the products anymore. It was about the environment. It was about the people that I was surrounded by. And when I went to that event, what I realized is how much love there is out there that you can be given by just a complete stranger. And I find that it's so important to go to Isagenix events to be more particularly, because it's tough out there. I mean, we all know, whether it be our family members, whether it be our closest friends, not everyone catches the vision with Isagenix, which is why going to events is so important, because that's your support system. When you go to these events, it brings you back into alignment with your goals. It brings you back into that state of mind and that mindset that, no, I'm doing something phenomenal. I'm changing people's lives, regardless of what anybody on the outside is telling you. And so what I've done now, and what I encourage all of you to do, especially the students out there, save and invest in events. Prior to my move to Ontario, I bought my ticket for Celebration Blitz, which happened in Ontario in August. Isagenix University, which has happened in September, red and white for next year in February, and my celebration ticket for next year, because I have no excuse not to attend these events now, being a student anymore. So my emphasis overall on this belief piece is to keep yourself in alignment with your goals. Write down your why, write it in your office, write it in on the wall in your bedroom when you wake up, because that's what's going to keep you going. But in addition to that, the books and the events are there to support you as well. But you just need to be open to it. So if any of you guys aren't planning to come to Toronto in February, I highly encourage you guys to come. And especially because I know on the East Coast it's a lot more tougher to go to Las Vegas for celebration every year. However, you're only going to thank yourself for doing so. And it's only going to help you in the long run. And I'm holding you guys accountable individually into doing this. So can I get a promise from each and every one of you guys to commit to events from today going forward? You can write in the chat down below. Awesome. Okay. And you know what? Regardless, if you fall off the boat, another thing I want to put out there, do not beat yourself up to, right now there's $1 million challenge going on. I do have a few people who have fallen off. I've fallen off myself. Life happens. But you shouldn't allow any obstacles in your life to allow you to feel that, you know, I'm not doing good. I'm not doing great in Isagenix anymore. Like I've lost my touch. It's not about that. The beauty of residual income, the beauty of Isagenix and working on your own time is the fact that life happens, you fall off. However, you have the power to get back up on that horse again. So just keep that in mind. And other than that, I mean, those are the primary tips I wanted to share with you guys.
Thank you so much, Gagan. That was amazing. Oh my gosh, guys. Isn't her personality so intoxicating? First time I met her, I was like, this girl is going places. I can tell you that. I want her to be my nurse one day. So I would just like to pull out, like, the biggest thing I took away from that I loved that you said is, like, giving and not just thinking about how's it going to benefit me. And because I know when I think about, like, oh, I'm making money, like, I feel guilty. But if I think about, no, I'm helping someone achieve their goals, that's when I stop even having those debates in my head at all. So Gagan, that was so awesome. Thank you so much for sharing those tips with us. So the last speaker, unfortunately, due to some unforeseen circumstances, Jess isn't able to be with us tonight. But who we have is the lovely Lindsay. She is a mother of two, a wife to Matt. Sorry, I got like a frog in my throat. A wife to Matt, and she's a member of the START community. She's also a marketing executive. She lives in Toronto, Ontario, and was introduced to Isagenix a year and a half ago by her friend Jess. After both her and her husband had phenomenal product experiences, she jumped full force into building a business that will help her and other moms be able to spend more time with their families, but not have to give up that desire to create and develop a career. Along with Jess, they won the ISA Derby last year, and she has been building a team ever since. So, Lindsay, we are so excited to have you, and thank you for joining the call.
My pleasure. Thanks for the introduction. And sorry, my hair is not as curly or cool as Jessica's, but you will have to deal with me tonight. So this is the cool thing I think about this business is, I mean, Jess and I, we didn't know each other 2 years ago. We met at a mom group and we just connected. You know, she shared with me, and now we're like, I think there doesn't go a day where I don't chat with her, and we've been building this business together, and on days where she's got some family stuff going on and needs to be there for her family, it's just cool having people that, you know, you can call to jump in and cover for you, and I'm happy to do it. So thanks for having me on. I've got, what time is it? 8:20. Okay, so I want to walk you guys through what Jess and I have used, and we really built our business together over the last year and a half, but what we have used to help create more duplication in our team. And I don't say this as we're the experts by any means, but what we did is kind of stumble, failed, and overcomplicated everything, because I think we are used to working in the corporate world where you have to make your stamp on everything and recreate the wheel. And that wasn't working for us. And so what we did is we started reaching out to leaders that we really respected and admired and had proven success, right? Like I say, talk to the people that are where you want to be. And so we started asking, what do you do? What's your systems? We know Isagenix says use the tools, but like, what does that look like on a day-to-day basis, right? And so after interviewing quite a few of them over, I don't know, the course of 2 months, this is probably about a year ago, we developed a system that we use in our team that really pulls from a lot of these great leaders within Isagenix. And one thing I want to share with you, and feel free to ask questions as we go, and I'll try and keep looking over and stop and answer them. But I was fortunate to be I'm in a accountability group right now with Christy Shaver, for those of you who know her, who's also a member of the SART community. And so she's mentoring 5 of us and kicking our butts every week. But Eric Coover came on our call last week, which was pretty cool. And one of the things that he said that really resonated with me is there are amazing leaders in this company, and they've all got amazing things to say and to train. But you've got to find something that works for you. It has to feel real to you. And I think that was really helpful, because to me, I would hear different leaders sometimes speak on stage. I'm like, if I say that, it's just going to sound so foreign coming out of my mouth. My friends are going to be like, did you just really say that? So I think that's been helpful for me to really look at what's worked. And I can't deny that it's worked for them, but really find, what are the principles at play of a lot of these great users that they're doing, and then find a way and verbiage that really works for me. So I'm going to share with you what we do, but I would encourage you, if that feels a bit forced or fake for you, try and take the principles of what I'm sharing and learn to apply those, and think through and practice with your teammates of, how do I make this something that actually feels like I'm delivering it with integrity? Does that make sense? Okay, cool. So I'm going to share my screen because I like PowerPoint. So here we go. So I'm going to pull this up, and I won't go into full screen because sometimes it just messes up the Zoom call. So can you guys see this okay? You just want to give me a thumbs up? Yeah? Okay, awesome. All right, so let's just jump right in. So, and some of these slides, by the way, I say we don't recreate the wheel. A lot of these slides are from raw, like red and white in Toronto in February, right? So guys, don't create your own slides if you don't need to. Some of them are maybe ours, but for the most part, we've just kind of copy pasted. So feel free to use them, and we'll find a way to get them to you. So, I mean, obviously, most of us would be excited if we could grow our business 4 times faster, right? If we could get more customers in Isagenix, but using it for life, not just a quick 30-day fix, right? And then also if we could set our business partners up for long-term success, because often it's so exciting when you have a business partner, and then sometimes it can be scary when you're like, how do I help them? What do I do, right? So this is what we have found to be really helpful. So let me just go down here 1 second. Okay, so 3 fundamentals that I find you need to always remember in network marketing is 1, consistency. We say this all the time, right? Is you need to be sharing with people, you need to be following up, and you can't just leave for 3 months and doing that. Like I think I signed up 3 people this week, and so many of them I've been talking to for months, right? And so consistency is key, giving it enough time, being patient, right? You don't become a millionaire overnight. It is consistently doing the income producing activities and giving it time. And so I think reminding your business partners of these 2 things are really huge. But the big one that I want to focus on today is really on duplication. And this is such a key piece to being successful within network marketing. Getting a large number of people to do the same thing consistently over time, right? And that's what creates depth in an organization, and also obviously creates the income that we're looking for to give us the time freedom and financial freedom. So 3 ways that Jess and I really have tried to create duplication on our team. 1, presenting the packs, and so we're going to go over that tonight. 2, how to launch as associate and customer, and 3, the 5-touch system. And even if you feel like you've heard all of this before, I would challenge you to think about can I explain it to someone else? Am I doing it? And is there any area that I'm maybe not doing consistently, right? So, okay, so how you get started, getting people started on the right pack is huge, because most people that you get started will start on the pack you did, and your team will often do that as well, right? So if we start our people on the business builder, the President's Value Packs, one, we know they're going to get the best product results, because the systems, the more products you get, they're all designed in the system, and we know they're phenomenal nutrition. So people are going to get great results. When they get great results, they're higher retention rates, right? Because they have an amazing experience. They love it. They've tried more product, and so they're more likely to reorder those products, and they have a higher odds of sharing it with others because they had such great success, right? All of that equals higher BV and increased cycles through your whole organization. It doesn't just benefit you, right? If you are consistently bringing people in on higher BV, that's benefiting everybody on your team. But I think in order to do that, and why most people I find don't often enroll people on the business builder or the President's Value Pack, is because they don't truly understand the value of it, and it's a mindset issue. So I really went to work on that. So I'm just going to share with you a couple things that I've learned over time, and this has really been a lot by trial and error. So really understanding the daily cost and use breakdown of the packs is super helpful. Often when I'm talking to new people, they'll say, oh, yeah, I had all these leads, and then people said it was too expensive, right? That's typically the most common objection, right? But one way that I have found very helpful in avoiding that is really understanding the value and being able to break that down by day for people, and really getting them to tell me what they currently spend, and then also how much more per day they're willing to invest. You don't know. Someone may spend $8 a day, but are willing to spend $20 a day, right? Like, you don't know. So it's always good to ask them that value. And so once you have their rough price point, I still always start with, the Ultimate Builder Pack. And I'm going to go through all of these as we go through it. But I want to just mention how I have stopped presenting the Pace Setter Pack. And I have recently just done this over the last month, I would say. And since doing that, I've had, I think it's probably around 70% of people I go with, or that I've enroll on the President's Pack, simply by not presenting the Pace Setter. And I'll tell you why. And feel free, you can do this or not, right? But what I always found difficult was to showcase the value of the Pace Setter and the President's Pack, because the main difference was vitamins. And I was like, is my belief in the vitamins off? And so I went to work on my belief in the vitamins. I'm like, no, I love them. I saw a huge difference having the vitamins myself. So I realized it was when I was enrolling people on the Pace Setter Pack, I liked the $55 Canadian or PIB, and especially when it was doubled, right? And I thought, oh, this is great because I'm getting more money, and it's a better choice than doing the starter pack and having that double at only $60. What I started realizing is that that more and more people in my organization were starting to enroll people on the Pace Setter Pack, which is only 150 business volume. And so what was happening is that everybody, right, was getting a lower business volume and BV throughout the whole organization. I realized, I'm like, this is not good, because not everyone's cycling as fast. So in some respects, yes, it's nice to have the bigger PID. Oh, someone's dog is loving or hating what I'm saying. We'll just mute. Perfect. Okay. And so, but what I realized, it was a very short-term mindset that I had of wanting that immediate, quick double PIB. And instead, I've chosen to present the President's Pack and the Value Pack. It's $20 a day. And I've used a lot of the verbiage from Zach and Eden, and then the Starter Pack. And I found what that has done is either people have started on the President's Pack, which is 320 BV, and that starts cycling down, or they've started on the basic pack, but they've added on the bars, they've added on the Isodelites, and potentially sometimes the e-shots. And so your BV is then up around 100, 110, right? And so that starts trickling down for everyone, and it takes a more longer term approach. And I found people are getting better results. So with that, Oh, and I got to go back over here. So I had the chat open. So we're going to go to the next one. So a couple tips when presenting the packs. The ultimate pack, as you've heard probably many people in Isagenix share, I've stopped calling it the business pack and we call it the family pack. If you have two people that are looking at enrolling on the president's pack, this is a great one to suggest to them instead, because it's one membership, they got a ton more product, and it's roughly the same cost when you add up both, which is awesome. It also comes with huge BV and a nice double PIB for you as well. So if you have never even talked about this pack, what I would encourage you before you start talking to people about it is really go to work on your own mindset, order it yourself, look through it, make sure you understand the value of what people are getting in this pack. The second one, I call it the value pack, the president's pack. And like I said, it's 320 BV. So that's like enrolling two people on a pace setter pack, right? So this is a really great pack to really try and promote. And I found by not presenting the pace setter, I've had a lot more people enroll in this pack. So how to position it? We're gonna post these for you, but this little YouTube video, like I said, I pulled all of this from great leaders in our teams, right? So Zach and Eden gave a really good challenge to me when I listened to them talking about how to present them. So I'm not going to repeat what they say. By all means, please check it out. And you can and then Chris Harder did also really good training on that. But that's what I have found to be really helpful, even in the last month. You can also see the retention rates, right? And so if you are so anxious to just get someone started, 100 BV just to get them in, right? If you start someone on a 9-day cleanse, it's really such a quick fix mentality. And as you can see, month 2, 3, and then onwards, our retention rates are so low when compared to the President's Pack or the Business Builder Pack, right? So if you're thinking about this long term, and as we know, right, consistency, give it enough time, and duplication are the 3 biggest things that really make us successful in network marketing. Take a long-term approach and really speak value about our bigger packs, and be patient with people, even if it takes them to find 2 friends, right, before they can afford to do it. I would definitely encourage you to do that. I'm just going to check the messages here just to see if there's any. Yes, that video does rock. Definitely watch it. Okay. And ask me questions as you go, guys. I will continue to check it. So, but I think once we enroll people, right, like you all get on that high. It's like, yes, I got someone, right? Like ching ching, you should think of your PIB or double PIB, but really 95% of the work starts after it, right? You're just getting started. So we've really gone to work at starting people on the right path, but also making sure we're setting them up for success. So launching an associate is also something that should be very duplicatable throughout your team. How often do you have people that sign up people, right? They become a consultant and then a month later, no one's reordering, right? And so really this is huge to helping your people's people get a great experience, and then the duplication continues. So what we've done is made it really into 5 steps. Is 1, you've probably been trained on the 5-touch system. I believe Alexis Moramano, I don't know if she was the first one to use it, but I know her, Susan Sly, they've really used and created this system, and they've found to get 1, better retention and more consultants in their organization. So 1, learn it and use it, and I'll walk through it. 2, how to actually enroll a new member and what to say when you're doing that. 3, always sending the welcome email. And I can show you an example of what we use. And then adding them into a private product Facebook group if you don't have your own yet, and by no means do you need to at the beginning, right? Add them to your uplines product Facebook group. And then doing the product intro call, which I think is one of the most important calls. So let's get into it. So the 5-touch system. So we use it because it's easy to duplicate. So when you do it with your people would do it with their people, blah, 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 right? It also ensures that people get the best results. I've had so many cleansers tell me, it was so good knowing you were going to call because I didn't cheat with a glass of wine, or like it was helpful when I was a bit discouraged and then you reminded me that my results were actually really good, right? So people, for the most part, really like and value the coaching, and these are 5-minute calls, right? Like aside from maybe the auto ship call on day 21, they're really 5-minute calls. I book a bunch of these in the car while I'm driving, right? The main objective is to encourage them, answer questions, encourage them to share, right? The other thing too, it keeps you organized. If you've just started and you have 1 or 2 people, you know, in your organization right now, it's pretty easy to manage. But all of a sudden, once you have a ton of people and you're helping also coach other people, it gets very complicated. And so this is, for me, very helpful. As soon as I enroll someone, write down their day 1, their day 5, their day 4, 8, 14, 21, and day 30 calls. It's already in my planner. Yeah, maybe they change slightly, but I already know when I need to be booking the next call. So that I find very helpful. So to learn the system, there's a great call recorded on it, and it's right here. You can find it in the PDF when we post it. So I'm not going to go over that. You can do that for your own learning, but it is very helpful. The other thing is I would encourage you to print out the next slide, and it's basically, if you're a paper person, you can track it that way. You can make your own in Excel if you love Excel, and it really helps you to just monitor all of the people. I've actually used a massive Post-it note wall thing, and because we're in Renos right now, so I don't even have an office, so it's in our pantry. I see it every morning when I make my coffee. So use whatever works for you, but track these things. And then when their shipment arrives, basically you start from step 1 and continue forward, right? And then when you're coaching the system, so if you have a couple people that have enrolled other people, right? Sorry, I'm looking at the questions. Yes, we will post it. Then you want to be coaching them through it. So I have a couple of new people on my team, and let's say they got to consultant. They have 2 people doing it with them. I'm going to coach them through, and there'll be a 3-way, 4-way call through their system for their first 2 people. After that, the 3rd one, I'm going to listen as they do it, and then they're on their own. They can duplicate it. It's that simple. But don't let your people just go off on their own and do it, because they may be afraid. They may want some coaching, and this is a really easy way that you can just jump on the phone and do it with them. And then listen as they do it. Does that make sense? Good? Cool. Okay, so that's a little thing you can print out, or you make your own version. Like I said, do what works for you, but I found it really helpful to stay organized. Then, on day 5, or day 14, not everyone's willing to post right away, but we do find this is the most effective way to helping people get their products paid for, right? And so typically we have used, and we send these to people, right? If they're, I don't normally say post on Facebook, because one, they're going to do something that's totally not compliant, right? Or they're just going to blabber on about stuff, or they're going to post Isagenix everywhere, right? And so what we have done is given them a before post and an after post, and oftentimes I work with them and help them word it, right? I make it so simple for them. And I have found, if you do it well, and you can look at our sample posts, we've had anywhere from 3 to 10 people ask for information right away, right? Which is awesome, because we know normally if you share with 10 people, you're gonna have 2 enroll, right? So this can normally get them to consultant pretty fast. And so once, let's say your person posts on Facebook, and then all of a sudden people are commenting below, what are you doing? Tell me what you're doing. I went in, right? We always coach them to comment on their post and say, I'll send you a private message right away, right? And then typically they'll add me in, right, and say, I'm just getting started, or my pack's hasn't arrived. I'll add my friend in who's coaching me. She's coached hundreds of people, and we can figure out what works for you. And then we start chatting in a Facebook chat. Most people are very comfortable with that. And then I'm always trying to lead it to an offline call. So once I've chatted with them, know their goal, say, awesome, I think I know exactly what to recommend to you. When's a good time for me to walk you through your options and see if it's a good fit for you or not, right? Always giving them permission. It may not be a good fit. Some people aren't worried you're going to high pressure sales them on a call. But that I found is super easy to duplicate, right? Simply your person posts on Facebook, adds you into a 3-way chat, right, with their friend, and then you take it from there. There's more on that here, but I just wanted to quickly go through that. I'm just cognizant of time. Okay. And then on the 3-way call, and we know we don't call these 3-way calls, right? People get worried, right? To say, let's connect with my friend. She knows a ton more about this than I do, and she can really help tailor the program for you, because what I'm doing may not be the best fit for you, right? Once they've agreed to that, I normally have my associate or my consultant tell me, what are their friends' goals, right? Either I've found that out through the 3-way chat, Or, they tell me, oh, like she's a nursing mom. She wants to lose weight, but she's worried about her baby's nutrition or milk supply, whatever. So then for me, being a mom, I'm like, okay, I'm going to tell my story about when I was nursing and how I did it and what I did, right? So it just helps kind of tailor your story. And typically the cleanser is going to introduce the coach first, introduce the prospect, and then you just take it from there. I've had most of my people that have gone consultant have done it this way, right? Just leverage you as much as possible. Okay, cool. Next one. All right, how to enroll. So this is another thing that we have found very helpful once we've done the enrollment. So using the new member form, asking the magic question, if I could show you how to get your products paid for, by helping some friends get started, does that interest you, right? I would say too, with the magic question, figure out something that works for you, right? I have different people in my organization, and they just say, okay, awesome, your pack's on the way. But I don't want you to pay full price. I didn't pay full price, right? And that just works for them. So figure out something that works for you and that feels genuine. But if you are really trying to help your friend or the person that you just enrolled save money and have other friends join them so they can have more accountability, if that's your genuine focus, then people don't get weirded out by that, in my experience. And then I always book the product intro call on the enrollment call. And then it's just easier. Even if the pack's not there, I find as long as they watch the videos that you send in the email and they've taken their photos and their measurements, you can normally do it and get them started in thinking about those two people right away. All right, I'm going to walk you through another welcome email. So this is what I do. It took me maybe, 45 minutes to design one day. It's very pretty and colorful. And literally I just copy paste, right? It's so simple. I have one for weight loss and I have one for performance, and the energy one, I just kind of tweak. I take out the video. And if someone's nursing and just using more like the shakes and can't do the full cleanse, I have one that I kind of tweak and take out the video. But this is super simple, right? Because when your people enroll someone, you just forward them this email, say, perfect, send this to your person, copy me, copy someone else, and it's so easy to duplicate down, right? And then people realize, oh, it's actually not that much work to help sign someone up. I'm going to go find somebody else. Okay, so we'll put that in there. You can browse through it and feel free to ask me any questions. One thing I do need to put in this, and you guys can do it on your own, or if I do it, I'll post it in the group in the next week, is the healthy minded body, because I think that really should be in the welcome email. Okay, next. And then I always do a welcome into our private Facebook group. So I always ask people, I'd love to set you up for success and put you in our private Facebook group once I have their permission. I always welcome them, but I say a little bit more about what they are. So if let's say it's like, oh, she's a busy, accountant, she's looking for healthy meals on the go. Does anyone have some healthy ideas for snacks when working late and still stuck at the office? And then people chime in with actually stuff that's relevant, and I find people feel really welcome and supported. So that's a really great way to get people involved right away. And then lastly, the product intro call. So really make sure they've watched the videos. You should not be wasting your time going through what Dr. Arna does way better than any of us can. It's already online, right? So make sure they've watched the videos, read the email, and taken their IsaBody photos. And if not, reschedule. And what I've started doing is just text them 15 minutes beforehand, because it doesn't take that long to do any of that. And say, hey, I'm going to call you in 15 minutes. Can you please make sure you read the email, videos, and taking your photos? If not, let me know a better time to call. Right? Super simple, and then, because then right on that call, you can get them signed up on IsaBody Challenge online. I've started doing all of these when possible on Zoom. You can share your screen. It's so much faster. And I find then you can visually see their face, and if they're nervous, you can encourage them. So it's been a really good switch for me. And then really all you should be doing is showing them their back office, the key websites to bookmark, and then answering any, quick questions they have once they've watched those videos, and then really reminding them about how to find two people, right? And then I always book the day 5 call. I always say, okay, awesome. You're going to love it. If you have any detox symptoms, it's going to be in the first 5 days. Text me, message me if you have any questions in between that time. But I want to touch base on day 5, because you're going to be starting to feel awesome. And I want to just check in then, but either before or after you've done your cleanse day. And I book the time right then and there. Okay? Saves you a lot of time later. And really, that's the main things that we duplicate. Obviously, going to events, adding and welcoming other people into our product group is good. We have a Monday team call, and so our people don't have to reinvent the wheel. They just bring their prospective business builders onto our training call. And then we also do have another system that we use to launch a business builder, which I didn't go into today. So for those people that are at that stage, we will walk them through that. And then really just trying to duplicate the belief, the attitude, and celebrating others, which we try and do every day in our group. So 8:45. I want to leave is there any questions? If you either want to write in the chat or quickly unmute yourself. I think we have about 5 more minutes before wrapping it up.
Guys, does anyone have any questions for Lindsay? Now would be the time.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I just have, and I know it's my own thing, like, that was amazing, first of all, like, that was so helpful. I have so many notes, but I'm so glad you're going to post this because I could not write fast enough. But this is just something that I struggle with a little bit, because I think if the pace setter pack was like 240 BV or something, and I understand that it's not, because we get a bigger PIB, like, I understand all that, but I think then, I would want to share it more, and I think then I struggle with feeling like I'm being selfish by not offering it to them because it's lower BV and it is better than the 30-day, but obviously you want the vitamins, and I get that, it's something, I don't know if you have any advice for like how to get over that concept, or, if I'm offering the presidents in the 30-day and they're like adamantly, like they're going with the 30-day, then do I say, oh, actually there is this other, that's just something that, I don't know if you have any tips there.
Yeah, no, I've wrestled with the same thing. To be honest, first of all, I would say go to work on your belief on the value of the President's Pack. If you have never done it, do it, right? Because I think once you genuinely believe that it's not, oh, I'm trying to get someone to spend more money, buy more product. If you genuinely believe it's going to be the best pack for them, that comes through, right? And your posture, your attitude comes through. Some people legitimately can't afford it. Right? They just can't. And that's why we have the basic starter pack. I never want someone to feel ashamed or upset about that. And if that's the case, they're like, Linz, I can't swing it right now. I see the value. I just can't do it. Or I don't know, they've got some people are like, I've got so much Costco vitamins, they want to use them, whatever, right? Like, I've tried my best, I've tried to explain the value. I say, no problem. Let's go with the 30-day. What I would really recommend though, adding on, because most people end up having to ship it in later and it costs you more money, is the isodelites for the cleanse days, or the whey thins, depending on if they're savory or sweet, right? And the bars, as they really help, they're an amazing snack. And some days you're just not prepped to do everything on your own. And then if they really struggle with energy, I find the e-shot's obviously a great product. So typically I will recommend them to add that on too, right? And then I say, listen, you can go find a blender if you want. Like if you already have a blender, or go buy one, on eBay, or $20, whatever. But it still ends up being great value for them, right? And so I think we need to be respectful where people are at, just show them the value of what they can get. But for whatever reason, for me, once I've stopped sharing the pace setter, I really think the 30-day plus all those other things is equally great value. It actually saves them a bit of money because they're not buying the blender. And if they need one, they can typically source one for cheaper.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, thank you so much. And I had another question. You said you have another system for business builders. Is that something you could easily post, like a PowerPoint, or would that be too complicated?
No, we can get it. I'll be honest, I'm still working through that one, but I can share with you what we've got thus far. And I'm sure there's some people on the call that could even add to it. But yes, we can share that for sure.
Okay, Lindsay, thank you so much for taking the time. I know I have pages and pages of notes. I'm sure everyone else does. So just wrapping up this call as we get close to 10 to 9. Guys, so this week, call to actions. I want accountability. So Gagan made you guys all promise, and I see who said yes, that you're going to buy your tickets. So buy those tickets to your events. Watch those 2 videos that Lindsay's going to share with us, and share this with your teams, right? We just learned about duplicating this, so the best way to do that is to keep practicing it. So just a reminder that if you have any friends who couldn't be on the call tonight, it will be posted So you can get them to watch the recording. It's all posted on Start Canada YouTube page, so please go and subscribe to that. As well, make sure you're in the Start Canada Facebook page. This is a very important page. Most people post in it, and you can connect with other starters. It's so great. Also this week, a new flavor is getting released, and I know everyone's like so excited about that. I know I am. And next week on Sunday, we're having John Whitsing. He is going to be sharing on branding yourself. Alicia is going to be doing our personal growth portion of the call, and our starter in the spotlight is Adriel. I'm so excited to have all these people on. I'm hosting again, so that's exciting. Well, at least I hope it is for you guys. So right now we're just going to take a super quick screenshot. So all you hidden gems in there, please show yourselves.
Awesome, awesome. Come on, you guys, let's open up those videos if you're willing. So stoked to have all you guys here. What a rockin' call. My gosh. Okay, you guys ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, hang on. Oh, we're all on the same screen. That's good. Okay, let's just do another one then. You guys can like make a face or do something silly. Awesome. Okay, you guys rock. You guys, let's give it up for Kim, for Gagan, for Charlotte, for Lindsay.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you next Sunday.
Bye, guys. Big love to everyone. Have an amazing week.